ANATHEMA was first previewed in 2017, 6 years ago, and just a few days ago, nikrodox finally revealed on his channel the finished version of ANATHEMA, 6 years later. I mean, if you go back to the original showcase of the layout, you can tell that it's older than most people in the community today, by the fact that it has this kind of gaming intro, but it is really cool to see a level that started before Bloodlust's release to finally be finished. It's planned to be verified by Rory, which I was originally a little concerned about considering that the latest upload on his channel is Sonic Wave Infinity progress, back when he was the one verifying that, but he made a community post like 4 days ago, so we're good. So today I'm going to explain what I think ANATHEMA does right, not only in its current state, but also parts of the creating process. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to like and subscribe, it helps out the channel a ton, and you'll see more content like this. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. So starting with the structure of the gameplay, it does manage to strike a good balance between similarity to the previous levels in the Dedication series, such as Renevant and Allegiance, while also differentiating itself enough to make it its own thing. It's a very similar style of gameplay, but the structure of the gameplay is inherently going to be different because ANATHEMA is longer than a lot of the other levels in the Dedication series. I can't speak to the level's enjoyability, obviously, no one's even completed the level yet, but given the style of gameplay doesn't make it inherently unbalanced like levels such as Slaughterhouse or Sukupen Circles or pretty much any Impossible level remake, I'd be willing to bet that it's probably better than a lot of the stuff that we currently have in the top 20. The gameplay also flows really well. I mean, if I did have the skill for it, I would probably go for this level. So when I say all of this about the gameplay, I do think that it actually is really good by itself, but also it is really good in terms of being a sequel to Renevant and Allegiance. It does a really good job of not being too similar or not similar enough to the previous level, meaning it has similarities to the original, but at the same time it's not completely relying on that original level for all of its traction in the community and reputation as a level. But where I'm really impressed with the level is in the decoration. I've said this a lot with other upcoming sequels to levels that I don't really like. It's hard to make a sequel to a bad level because if you want it to be a faithful sequel, then that would probably mean that your level is predestined to be not that great. Or you can make it not similar to the original level, but then it's not really a good sequel, it's just a good level on its own. If you look back on levels like Renevant and Allegiance, while they might not have been bad for their time, they haven't exactly aged the best. My main criticism of Renevant is that the Dedication series is meant to be rainbow with black, and there really isn't very much color in Renevant in a lot of parts, but ANATHEMA has a lot more color in it, which is something I very much appreciate. For most parts of the level, every color of the rainbow is on screen somewhere, which is a lot better than having it go from red to orange to yellow to green, etc., one at a time. The main criticisms I've seen for the decoration is that it's inconsistent in style and that there are parts that don't really fit with the rest of the series, like the palm trees. However, I would argue that since the theming is more around the color scheme and the song choice in the Dedication series, as well as the gameplay structuring, I don't think that the palm trees negatively affect the level. I actually think it's a nice addition to spice things up a bit because originally the Renevant and Allegiance weren't as interesting. At least in my opinion, I know a lot of people do like those levels. Specific things that I really do like about the level are this part, which is a callback to Renevant and Allegiance, which is really interesting. Nikrodox's first part, which is probably my favorite part in the level, along with the last part in the level before the end screen, which is an iris part. This is a prime example of what I was talking about when every color of the rainbow is on screen at once, which makes it much more interesting than just having it go by one. This is literally one of those videos where you take a famous extreme demon that only uses one color and put an RGB filter on it to make it 10 times better. So I do think overall, ANATHEMA's deco actually improves on the original theme set by the Dedication series in its own individual way, kind of like what I said about the gameplay. It does it in its own way, but at the same time is similar enough to the original levels that it still works as a sequel. In terms of the song choice, I mean, I don't really like any of the songs in the Dedication series very much. That being said, I mean, in terms of Living Tombstone songs, this one's probably one of my favorites. Like, at least it's not literally the FNAF beatbox meme. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really cool level on its own, and it's a really cool sequel. Probably one of the best sequels that we've gotten recently. Oh yeah, also, its identity as a level is not completely based off of the fact that it's hard, which is awesome. Really nice to see that when we're also seeing shit out here like Silent Unknown. The only criticism I have of the level is that I don't think it's that big of a deal to have some style variation, but there are a couple parts that are a little out of place, like nikrodox's second part starts off a lot different than most of the level. Like, it just looks a bit messy compared to the rest of the level. But overall, I don't think it really is that big of a deal. It doesn't really affect the level more broadly. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd probably give this level like an 8 out of 10. Just a shorter video for today, but I will have more longer videos coming in the future. There's of course me ranking the entire demons list that is just right around the corner. I mean, it's not like I give a paragraph for each level. It's pretty short reviews, but yeah, it's still a pretty beefy video. But yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yada yada yada. You've heard it like a million times before. You know what to do. If you would like to, you can join my Discord server. Link is in the description. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.